A Civil War reenactment is in part a memorial service. It is partly, too, a leisure activity. Furthermore, most reenactors assert an educational import to the performance, and to develop their roles many pursue archival research with a rare dedication. On the other hand, Civil War reenactments are increasingly commercial spectacles, with as many as 50,000 Americans routinely gathering at or near historical Civil War battlefields in order to stage performances that purport to recreate the conflict, while hundreds of thousands more spectate. I will show how theoretical issues of authenticity arise as practical problems in the Civil War reenactment community by presenting my own observations from the 2006 Gettysburg reenactment and by relying on a number of texts produced by participant observers. In particular, I will refer to Robert Lee Hodge, who was made famous by Tony Horwitz's 1996 book, Confederates in the Attic, and who served as a kind of Virgil to the author on his journey through a Confederate Valhalla. From these sources I will argue that, living history, performances require an interpretive apparatus that takes genuine history as its authority, while remaining external to both participants and tourists, who may well be unaware of how closely their own involvement approximates genuine historical events. Cultural studies is a new way of engaging in the study of culture. In the past, many academic subjects including anthropology, history, literary studies, human geography and sociology, have brought their own disciplinary concerns to the study of culture. However, in recent decades there has been a renewed interest in the study of culture that has crossed disciplinary boundaries. The resulting activity, cultural studies, has emerged as an intriguing and exciting area of intellectual inquiry that has already shed important new light on the character of human cultures and which promises to continue so to do. While there is little doubt that cultural studies is coming to be widely recognized as an important and distinctive field of study, it does seem to encompass a potentially enormous area. This is because the term, culture, has a complex history and range of usages, which have provided a legitimate focus of inquiry for several academic disciplines.
One of the social issues faced by the state of Alaska is the lack of mental and emotional well-being of the Native Alaskans. It is very unfortunate that many of the Native Americans are living under poor conditions throughout the country. In the cases of Native Alaskans, even virtually entire villages are suffering from a lack of mental and emotional well-being, which includes continuing poor physical and mental health. Alcohol abuse, domestic violence, homicides, and suicides are frequent among them, which of course, lead to families falling apart. It is tragic to see that many children are abused and not educated properly. As a matter of fact, the children themselves are abusing alcohol and other chemicals, and the rate is increasing over the time. Since parents are suffering from mental illnesses and alcohol abuse, they can't take care of their children, so many children are being taken care of by others or simply neglected. Therefore, we can conclude that Alaskan natives are losing hold of their communities, cultural identities, and most importantly, their childhoods. So you can see how serious the issue is. Plus, rather than making a living for themselves, they are depending on public services and subsidies. They have lost control of and responsibility for their economy and governing institutions. The secondary qualitative research on how teachers as stakeholders approach mindfulness practice in education has provided valuable information regarding the complexity of the roles mindfulness interventions are playing in addressing student needs as well as supporting teacher well-being needs. In this context, the research demonstrates that teachers overall have positive perceptions of mindfulness interventions, primarily in reducing and preventing negative emotional states and promoting positive affective states among students within classroom settings. Idealistically, teachers see reception in students who practice mindfulness as a way that helps them reduce stress and control their outbursts in class. This emotional stability is usually attributed as the cause of better performance, as students who are calm are likely to engage themselves in study properly. However, the findings of the study support the notion that teachers view mindfulness as a useful teaching strategy for cultivating social competencies explicitly in young learners. In this way, mindfulness helps students to acquire valuable skills, including empathy, self-control, and resilience, that may prevent classroom disruptions and promote positive student behaviors while at the same time helping them cope with school and later life. To the elders, especially to those learners in competitive education systems, mindfulness is seen as a good technique of managing stress and focusing on lessons that are crucial for success.
The authors reason that educators who already advocated for a lifestyle of comprehensive education that prioritizes academic success and stability in the emotion will be prone to take advantage of mindfulness. Because they know that although emotions are not contentious for scholars but one of key understanding and reason why they think mindfulness could support scholars to tame the emotions. Consequently, these teachers will more likely to fit mindfulness into their teaching process as another regular activity rather than a side activity. The belief that happiness and emotional well-being are important increases their concern with out-of-work mindfulness, that in turn increases the chances of its success. Some teachers might have little personal experience or are simply not convinced that mindfulness is a thing. They will not have the same attitude towards the efficacy of mindfulness. While a person who has not been following the mindfulness may not understand why it is so important to do it,